Alright, so the heavy hitch, it turns out does dig very well. uh, yeah, so I've never actually had to get rid of an entire pile before, because once I got to this part, I would just back drag. Well, this stuff, as you can see, is not the same as that stuff, so I kind of have to figure something out here. I was able to do a really good job right here, but I think that's because the pea gravel underneath was deep enough that I could just angle down. But I'm also on a declining hill here, so a little bit of problems there. And then, of course, my regular, not very experienced with a front end loader, holes that I dig. But usually those actually will go away. The big rocks will stay on top and the soil will go back down. Ain't that right, Alaric? Yes, that's right. You still have a squeaker in you. We're going to have to get rid of that. Squeak. And little girl, you're the sweetest puppy, aren't you? Yes, you are. So, I think what we're going to do, if Tom says it's okay. Well, hey, Tom. If I start talking, he likes to talk back. He's a good goose. I think I'm going to bury this area in that rock. Seems like a really good idea. I parked the tractor up here, and all I have to worry about is that one beam, because that is higher than my ROPS, and so it can be underneath something and at least get out of the rain and sun for the most part. Sun never actually shines into here. We've got that eave that pretty much keeps it out of here, so tractor's protected from sun, which is much more important than everything else out here because we don't really get anything else out here. Well, I guess we could get hail. I did have a car, well, 2 cars, get pretty destroyed by hail. That went ahead and bit me in the butt because that's considered a major problem, even though they fixed everything by replacing everything. Good times. But so I think at this point I can talk a little bit about the toothbar, or at least, kind of first impressions, first usage. I expected that I was going to be able to break it. That it turns out that it's probably not true. I mean, I'm sure I'll get to it eventually, but this thing is beefy. It's really beefy. And to be fair, I'm putting it on the I don't want to say light duty bucket, but it's not the heavy duty bucket that John Deere has. I did try to obtain one of those, but once we started talking cost on that, and then I was looking at the WR buckets, I was like, well, why bother if it's so close in price to what I want to get from them anyway. So that will probably happen too. I'd like to get a rock bucket where it's got slats instead of a solid bottom. But just to talk about these things for a second, I really did think I was going to be able to break them. I thought for sure I was going to bend at least something, or catastrophically destroy something, or at least cosmetically really mess it up. But it doesn't even look like I've been able to do that. They're dusty, but they are still black. So I guess I wasn't able to go through whatever coating they have on them. Tom, hey, I'm trying to make a video, buddy. Tom. What? What do you want, Tom? Anyway, so I was able to dig a little. These, I didn't even know were on the surface, and I flipped those things out like nothing. Didn't even stop. Oh, Muscovy flying. Go, Muscovy, go. Always get a kick out of the Muscovies flying, because those are really small Muscovies, the ones that are able to fly like that. But it still sounds like a doggone eagle. But yeah, the rocks that I was able to flip out without even thinking about it are actually Normally these would stop my bucket dead because it's got to push a rock into the ground then, but it just plowed them right out of the ground. I cannot wait to see how that's going to translate to what I've been trying to do with the Muscovy pond. This is going to be a force multiplier, as we used to say. I can already tell it really comes down to my traction and weight on the tractor, and neither one of those are perfect, but it should get a lot better once my heavy hitch other part comes in and I see if I can't locate some 70-pound, a couple of additional 70-pound weights. I'd like to put at least 400 pounds on the back of the tractor, kind of get into that class of weight. I think once I do that, things will start working a lot better. I really need to get some weight on those back tires. I'm going to wait until this weekend to fill up these tires, and hopefully I'll have some real numbers for people on what that'll do. But I can already tell that if these things weighed more, if I had more weight back here, the traction advantage I would have would be quite significant. And that's really what you want on a tractor, is you want to have the weight to do what you need to do. And on almost everything else, you don't want a lot of weight. And then on here, you want as much weight as far back from the front as you possibly can. And so hopefully by mid next week or the week after that, I'll have both my suitcase weights and the heavy hitch piece that I ordered, and we'll be able to talk about that. But so far, I mean, I gotta say, I recommend these things. If I can't break it, then I could destroy a steel ball in a rubber room. So probably okay for everybody else. I mean, I'm not a walking disaster, but I am really new and don't know what I can't do with this equipment for the most part. And first try, I've broke everything that I've bought as far as the tractor's concerned, except this guy. So heavy hitch has my vote. If I can't break it, it might take skill to break. But we'll see. We'll try digging with this thing and flipping rocks with it and see what happens. The bucket itself has held up really, really well doing that. And so with this added bit of steel right here, in fact, this thing right here is probably my favorite and least favorite part about this. When pouring rocks, a lot of them seem to get stuck right here, and it leaves a lot of the bucket still. And I have to actually shake it to get it out, because right there is where it sits best. And so I'll always have a little bit in the bucket, which kind of sucks. It'd be perhaps better if they could put an angle on the backside, but as far as complaints, that's a pretty light one, really. And I'm not sure that it's a real valid one anyway. It functions great for what it's supposed to do. Unfortunately, I'm not that good at it yet. Tom, did you come over here to inspect the bucket and me talking? Yeah. It sounds like I'm doing something strange. We don't understand humans. But when they talk a bunch, that's, maybe we should come over and check it out. Checking it out was always an option, huh, Tom? You can notice that Tom's actually developing his little cleft right there. Building up your flying muscles, Tom? Yeah? I think we know our name. We definitely respond to Tom. Of course, we keep an eye on me anyway. I picked him up this morning, I believe it was. Did I pick you up this morning? Was that when I picked you up? Yeah. Tom and Scarlett are both very fond of not being picked up. And we try to avoid being within reaching distance if there isn't something between us and humans. So I've got a little privacy fence back there, and he is totally okay if I'm on one side and he's on the other. He'll eat out of my hand and everything. Of course, we kind of will do that in person too, but not for a little while after he gets picked up. If he gets picked up, that's no good. Yeah, that's what I said. I told them. I told them that you don't like being picked up. But he's really, really soft, and I really, really like petting him. He's a good pet, aren't you? I thought for sure I was going to have to eat you because everything I've heard suggests that you guys are stupidly loud and really annoying and do this honking thing all the time, and that's just patently false, isn't it, buddy? He only does it when he sees me for the first time or recognizes that I'm outside for the first time. I don't think he registers me on the tractor as being me. But if I get off of it, it's honk, 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 just like he's seeing me for the first time. Possibly a bird thing. I'm not sure. But he does tend to honk when people are misbehaving outside, like the chickens. And he honks at new people and hisses. But he's never bit anybody that's a human yet. And I don't think he's bit the dogs either, have you? We like to bite baby goats. We don't like baby goats. And we do bite our birdie buddies. Ain't that right, Tom? But he keeps a close eye on me and the birds. So I guess we're going to dump this out right in there. That way I've got a little bit of an easier access. Sometimes I have to throw it below to get up here. I can't stray too close to the post because I've got that thing right there, which I should probably just put the tractor up there and peel that thing off because I actually don't think it's doing anything. Almost 100% sure there. Well, yes, I am, Tom. Yeah, I don't think it's doing anything. In fact, this whole stupid building is going to have to come down at some point in time. I really don't like it. And this plumbing mess. But one project at a time, or in my case, 10.